Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning in today. Today's just kind of gonna be a continuation of the last video. Some of the comments got me to thinking, and I want to pose the question: do you feel like just because somebody is incarcerated, it gives the COs and staff there the right to mistreat them? Now, I'm separating uh, sex offenders and like murderers of innocent people, especially the elderly and children. Those people I've already spoke my thoughts on. I don't even feel like they deserve a trial. So I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about your everyday run of the mill criminal, your drug addicts, your drug dealers, um, your gang members, people who are in jail for committing crimes against other criminals or with other criminals. I'm not saying that Officer Landing deserved to die. The CO at Ross that I was talking about who got murdered a few months ago. I don't feel like he deserved to die, but at the same time, somebody did. You know, yeah, looking back on it or even us just looking on it, does it seem super petty to kill an officer because he wrote you up for a petty ticket? Absolutely. But you don't know what kind of stress that kid was under or that man was under. He could have had a sick kid. He could have had a sick mother. He could have had any number of shit going on at home that he was trying to get home to. And that officer wrote him a petty ticket that he could have avoided, and it cost him the opportunity to go home, which then, as a result, cost him his life. Now, maybe that wasn't the situation. Maybe it wasn't that dire. I don't know. But it was serious enough for him to kill him, so it had to been something. I'm just gonna talk about the type of shit I've seen. I've seen everything from which I've spoke on numerous times. COs coming in your cell to search your cell. They call it a shakedown, and you might got pictures of your daughters or your son or your girlfriend or your family, and after they get done and you go back in there to clean your cell up, your pictures are all over the floor with shoe imprints on them. There might be one or two in the toilet. You might got a big ass dirt boot print right in the middle of your bed or on your pillow. If I've seen them dump, like guys will come out of their cell and have something to drink in there, and COs will dump their drinks over and spill whatever all over the place, coffee, Kool-Aid, pop, whatever. I've seen officers break guys' shit. I've seen officers go in cells to shake somebody down and rip the cord out of their back of the TV or rip the cord out of their stereo or snap their headphones. I've seen COs extort guys for food. What do I mean by that? Let's say you got guys that work in the kitchen, right? Most of the people that work in the chow hall in prison don't have family support. Most people don't want to work in the chow hall. It's a horrible job. You stink when you come back. Most people don't want to be down there. They had to raise the state pay just to get people to even want that job. But you got guys who don't get support from home. They willingly work down there. because because they eat all they want, so they're never hungry. And it's a good job, and it's a good hustle. You got guys that'll make sandwiches in the chow hall, bring them back and sell. It's a hustle. You can steal shit and hustle. And most of the COs are on the racket. What do I mean by that? You got regular COs that work your block, so you know each other. You're with these guys every day, and these COs know you're stealing, and you're a sandwich guy or you're this guy. So you cut them in. You give each you make each of the COs a sandwich. You break them off. That's all right because they're respecting your hustle. But you'll get these dickheads. They'll come in. They'll shake, pat you down. They'll knock you with your pack, and then they'll, you know, give me a honey bun and a pop, and I won't write you up. Shit like that. That's against the rules. So if you want to get technical, which some of the people in the comments have, these COs bring shit on themselves. I'm not saying that the inmates don't act like fucking animals. I've made videos about inmates eating their own shit. I went crazy and back. You can't tell me nothing about prison. You can blindfold me and put me in any prison in America, and within 5 hours, I'll tell you where everything's at. If you've seen one, you've seen them all. And I'm telling you, you have COs who go out of their way to mistreat inmates. It's abuse. When I was a kid, man, when I was in juvenile, I've made videos about our old juvenile here in Toledo. It was called the Child Study Institute, CSI for short. That was basically our juvenile county jail. When you got locked up, they put you in a concrete room. Even the bunk was made out of brick. It was a brick slab with a mat that thick, no pillow, and two of those fireproof blankets, no sheets. Just two blankets and you and a mat, right? And you got to sit in that room 24 hours a day. The only time they let you come out of that room, you get to go to rack. You get to go to it ain't 20, it's like 22 hours a day. You get to go to rec when your block gets your hour gym, and then you get to walk to the chow hall and back. That's it though. You don't get to come out for day room. You don't get to have any of the block privileges until you memorize 8 words and their definitions, and it's a whole paragraph. And them were some of the most violent COs I've ever seen. I've seen COs jump on dudes while they were on the shitter and they're kids. When you put people in position of power that have mental health issues themselves, like you might got, which is the case a lot of the times. I know this is the most commonly thing said, but it's true. You get these dudes, you can look at it, you can see it. They wear it like a fucking hat. That they were bullied and picked on their whole lives. They're insecure. They're super weak. You know they would never, ever even look you in your eye on the streets. But inside this penitentiary, since they got the badge and you're wearing state blues, they have this invisible power over you. And it's almost like it's a sickness. I've been around it, man. 21 years. I'm telling you, I could be a psychologist. You see it. These COs, man, they take their trauma out on you. You got people who will come in, just had an argument with their old lady at the house before they came into work, or maybe the kids going through some shit. What, maybe the car broke down, who everyday life type shit, and then they come into work and they take it out on you. You got COs that come in trying to cut corners, put extra dollars in their pocket. Who gets the brunt of it? The inmate. The reason I said I'm pro inmate, listen, if if I'm an inmate, speaking as an inmate, shit, make 100% of the staff women. I'm speaking as somebody who's thinking as, would you want your daughter working in a prison? Would you want your wife or your spouse, your girlfriend working in a prison? Would you want your sister, your mother, your auntie, whoever working in a prison? I mean, really. And before you just say shit, they get paid good, again, no, they don't. Starting off, I mean, they make a decent wage. I'm not gonna sit here and act like they make minimum wage, but them people don't make bank. They don't start clocking bank until like they hit that 5 and 10 year mark, like I explained before. But the trauma and the mental, the shit, you just have to, you can't, it's a stink that you can't wash off. You can't wash off the penitentiary once you've been exposed to it for a certain period of time. It'll never wash off. You can get past it, time heals, but that scar is always going to be there, and you can never unsee the shit you're going to see there. I'm sorry, if you work at a prison for an extended amount of time, you're going to see the most craziest shit you've ever seen in your life. And that goes, I mean, I've seen guys cut their, I've seen guys, I've explained what guys will do, right? I don't know, it's probably been a good 12, 13 years now. Prisons, every prison in Ohio has what they call a check-in block. And what that is guys who are afraid to be on the compound can just go to any staff member and say, I'm in fear for my safety, and the staff member will put them in this check-in block. Well, really all it was a hiding spot for dope fiends. Drug addicts would run up drug bills in a block, can't pay it, so he'll check in. He'll go tell the CO he's in fear for his safety. They'll put him in the hole. He'll go sit in the hole for a few months. And during that time, one or two things are going to happen. Either he does got people that send him a little bit of money, and so it's accumulating so he can get out, clean up them bills, and then do it all over again. Or you got guys that are just completely broken, won't never be able to pay it. And what they'll do is they'll run up the bill, check in, sit back there a few months, get out, go to a completely different block, do it again, and they'll do that as many times as they can before the walls start closing in, before people start seeing them at the chow hall or on the rec yard or on a pass, and the walls will start closing in. And then when that happens, he'll just go sit back in the check-in block until they ride him out to another institution. And then he'll go to that institution and do it all over again, and they prison hop. So about 5 years into that, not all, but a lot of prisons, Ross included, started not ride. They would not ride you out no more just because you checked in. Meaning, if you're afraid to be on a compound and you're just choosing to be in the hole, then you're just going to be in the hole. But we're not going to accommodate you running up drug bills and keep riding you out to others. So they just stopped riding guys out. So to combat that, guys started doing extreme shit to get rode out. I've seen guys break the windows off their light, take them fucking fluorescent bulbs out, break them, cut their stomach. It was this dude named Camo in Ross. He sat back there for like 7-8 months, and they kept telling him, we're not riding you out. So finally he cut his stomach open and started pulling his innards out of his innards were hanging, his intestines was hanging out of his body, just to get rode to another prison. I've seen guys break those same lights, crush the fucking glass up into little shards and swallow it. I've seen guys eat feces. I've seen guys, um, the self mutilation was just off the hook. So you're definitely around a level of crazy. The pressure in prison is a lot different than the pressure out here. You wake up in prison every day in war. You're at war every day. You got to make sure you're okay every day. Every day is a mission to make sure at the end of the night when I lay down I'm all right. And when you fine tune your brain after so many years or months and then years, you become fine tuned into that. And you can't just turn it off at the flick of a switch. So when that CO wrote that man up, he was on a whole different wavelength than you and I. And again, I'm not justifying it. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm just spitting facts. Them COs, most of them. And Lanning knew better. Lanning was a veteran. He had been down a long time. But Lanning was a piece of I don't like talking bad about the dead. But what I'm saying is he used to do fucked up shit. Lanning was known for doing fucked up shit. And he was good for like guys going out on their visits. Your people's out there waiting. You got a time limit on visits. And when your people get here, they'll be sitting here half hour, 45 minutes at best. That's a good day before you even get out there. And these COs know your people are waiting, and you'll get to that rec shack, and Lanning will be in there, and it's his job. He's got to check your pass to make sure it says you're going to where you say you're going. But then he'll get to doing all the extra shit, patting you down or sending you back to the block for your shirt untucked or shit like that. He'd go out of his way to fuck with people intentionally, and sometimes these COs don't know the consequences of their pettiness. Sometimes them having a bad day with their wife or their kid, and they come in and they take it out on a guy and write them up for something they didn't deserve to get wrote up for, cost that guy years away from his kids. So just try to put shit into perspective, man. I don't like to argue back and forth with people. All comments are welcome. All points of view are welcome. I'm really just on here. I ain't, you know. So that's the video for today, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. If you liked it, please hit the like and subscribe button. Share the video. Until next time, it's the Hoodie Man. I'm out, y'all.